Kwon Jae-sung, commonly known as Kwon, serves as the secondary antagonist in Season 6 of Cobra Kai. Kwon, who trained under Master Kim Dae-un in South Korea and was one of the standout students, later joined the newly revived Cobra Kai dojo. In Season 6, Part 1, it is revealed by Kim Dae-un that he had a history of causing trouble from a young age. While training, he developed a rivalry with fellow student Yoon Do-jin, defying Kim Dae-un's instruction to focus on mastering the ultimate defense breaker technique. Kwon opted to show off instead. He instructed the board holder to raise it higher and executed an impressive hook kick, splitting the board in two. Displeased with his disobedience, Kim Dae-un punished him by assigning him to clean Grandmaster Kim Sun-young's toilet. During a training session, Kwon expressed his belief in defeating opponents through sheer determination and resolve without true sincerity, prompting Sensei John Kreese to turn the other students against him by imposing an intensive group exercise as punishment for Kwon's behavior. Frustrated, Yoon pushed Kwon, sparking his anger. John Kreese, having uncovered key secrets of Cobra Kai's strength with guidance from Kim Sun-young, encouraged Kwon to channel his rage against his rivals. Fueled by this advice, Kwon confronted Yoon, catching him off guard by pushing him. When Yoon asked if Kwon was finished, he retorted that he was done with him. Yoon attacked, but Kwon skillfully blocked his strikes and countered with a hit to Yoon's foot. Kwon noted that Yoon's tendency to follow orders made him predictable despite his strength. In the ensuing fight, he swiftly defeated Yoon and two other students who had allied with him. Although Yoon tried to retaliate, Kwon countered with a two-hand viper chop, targeting Yoon's neck and cutting off his breath with a trachea strike. He further incapacitated Yoon with powerful kicks, ending the fight with a single-leg flipping kick. Claiming the Gum Baiji, which symbolizes the top student, Kwon established himself as the superior fighter and took over as the main leader of Cobra Kai for the upcoming Sekai Taikai tournament in Barcelona. In Part 2, we see a continuation of where we left off in Cobra Kai, Season 6 Part 1 at the Sekai Taikai. As the students from all the dojos are getting ready to compete, Kwon also prepares to lead his team. In the next scene, while Miyagi-Do debate in the lobby, Kwon and his crew enter, and he decides to mock them in the process. Eli steps to him and threatens him, but he doesn't seem fazed by this. He pushes into Hawk while walking past and intimidates Dimitri in the process, asserting his dominance over him. While taking a picture in the aquarium with other students, Tori walks away in frustration, most likely due to thinking about Robbie. Kwon picks up on this and mocks her, showing that he isn't too fond of Tori as a teammate. Next, while all the students are clearly still in the aquarium, a competition begins to see who can mark the dolphin board by kicking the highest. Kwon mocks Miyagi-Do by saying, "Everyone knows that America is best at everything." His sarcasm leads everyone in the room to laugh, except Miyagi-Do, as they are the Americans he is talking about. Kwon starts a chant in the room, trying to push the Miyagi-Do students to step up to the challenge. Hawk gets ready to step up, but Kwon immediately shuts this down, stating that Hawk isn't even captain. He then asks where the captain is. This is when Robbie walks in and tells his team that it's time to leave. He mocks Robbie, stating, "Do you always walk away from challenges? Or is it because your girlfriend is on our team?" Robbie turns around as his ego is bruised in this moment, and Miguel tries to stop him from getting involved, but Hawk puts a sense of belief in Robbie and tells him, "You've got this. Show them what's up." Robbie takes the chalk and asks Kwon what he has to do to win. Kwon then proposes a bet. He states that if he kicks higher than Robbie, he gets Miyagi-Do's room, but if Robbie kicks higher than him, he gets Cobra Kai's room. Robbie accepts the challenge and they shake hands. Dimitri clearly has a problem with this, realizing what is at stake if they lose, but Robbie reassures him. Robbie then runs up and spin kicks the board, leaving the highest mark. He looks at Kwon like he has already won, but Kwon shakes his head and gets ready to show what he can do. He runs up and spin kicks and leaves a mark higher than Robbie's. This makes Robbie realize the mistake he has made. Kwon then approaches Robbie and takes the key cards, adding insult to injury, saying, "Don't worry, I'll leave your bags in the hall." He then starts the Cobra Kai chant as they leave with a victory over Miyagi-Do. We then see a scene of him sleeping like a king in the room he had just won from Miyagi-Do. Back at the Sekai Taikai, Kwon and his Cobra Kai team discuss tactics. He suggests that they should wait and let Miyagi-Do come to them, and then they should strike. But Tori opposes this and suggests that Miyagi-Do are going to protect the egg and they should attack their front line. This infuriates Kwon, as he wants to be Robbie's superior. He tells Tori to stay out of the way and not fall down. Tori doesn't listen and follows her instincts, attacking first, leading to Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do starting their fight. Mid-fight, Kwon mocks Robbie, saying, "Did you sleep okay?" This sparks a fight between the two. The fight continues and it seems to be close, but Robbie gains the upper hand and knees Kwon in the stomach. But in a split second, he sees Tori fighting in the distance and loses his focus, allowing Kwon to regain the upper hand in the fight. Kwon then throws Robbie to the ground, winning a point for Cobra Kai. He says, "Too easy, man, come on." After the fight with Miyagi-Do, they realize that the Iron Dragons are the only ones left standing between them and victory. This time, Tori takes charge, as her previous plan against Miyagi-Do worked. They rush toward the Iron Dragons, but are shocked to see the front line of the team kneeling. This is unusual and shocks them. The Iron Dragon students then walk off the mat, leaving Axel and Zara to compete against Cobra Kai. Tori then says, "I'll take the little girl," and tells Kwon and Yoon Do-jin to go for the big guy. The students begin fighting but are defeated in a matter of seconds, leaving everyone in shock. He clearly isn't happy with this, but they come back better in the following scene in the competition, defeating most of the dojos. After this, Kwon, Kreese, and Kim Da-eun have a meeting, and Kreese mentions that it looks like they have Daniel LaRusso rattled. He then tells Kwon to dial up the pressure, saying that enemy soldiers shouldn't rest, even when they are off duty. In agreement, Kwon bows and makes his way out. In the next scene, he enters the club with Tori and the rest of the Cobra Kai members, taking advantage of Robbie looking at Tori. He uses it as an opportunity to make it seem like he and Tori are in a relationship, in an effort to get into Robbie's head. He puts his arm around Tori and asks her, "So, is your boyfriend a better kisser than a fighter?" To which Tori pushes him off her. He then says, "What?" Kwon then states, "I'm just being friendly." This annoys Robbie. He looks at Tori and she looks back at him, to which Kwon takes notice. Tori decides the best option is to leave the bar. He then uses this to get into Robbie's head and says, "No need to worry, I'll keep her warm tonight." This prompts a reaction from Robbie as he squares up to Kwon. He then pushes Robbie to make a move, but Robbie restrains himself. Kwon then says, "I'll just have to kick your ass on the mat then, again." And then, in a last effort to get Robbie to react, he suggests Tori is waiting for him. He then walks out of the bar. While Axel and Samantha are taking a walk, Kwon and the Cobra Kai squad decide to tail them. He then suggests that a little revival team playtime is going on, and Samantha asks him to leave them alone. He says in a mocking way, "Only if you say please." Axel clenches his fist. Yoon Do-jin sees this and reacts by fly-kicking Axel, and a brawl between Sam, Axel, and Cobra Kai starts. The brawl is stopped by the sound of police sirens approaching, and Axel and Kwon square up. Kwon then tells Axel, "I'll see you on the mat." Then group decides to run their separate ways. The Sekai Taikai continues, and Cobra Kai continues to dominate other dojos in the competition. Kreese then tells Kwon, "Defeat does not exist in this dojo." And Kwon says, "No, sensei," as they come to an understanding and step back onto the mat to compete against Miyagi-Do. Tori pushes Kwon out of the way as she wants to start the contest, which shocks Kwon. The tag match continues, and Kwon fights against Miguel. He gains a point over him, and Miguel tags in Robbie. Kwon tries to kick Robbie, but Robbie blocks his kick. He laughs and says to Robbie, "It's about time. Let's see what you got." The match begins, and Robbie dominates. He gets Kwon on the ground and pulls his head back. He is in agony, and Devin asks Johnny what Robbie is doing, to which Johnny replies, "He is making it hurt." The match continues, and while Kwon tries to dominate the fight, Robbie is just too powerful for him. This creates anger in Kwon, as he doesn't like to lose. He rages, and so does Robbie. They both run up and do flying kicks, but Robbie ultimately kicks before him and wins the round for Miyagi-Do. All the members of Miyagi-Do are ecstatic, while Cobra Kai drops their heads in shame. Kwon pushes his peers off him as they try to help him up after his defeat, not wanting any sympathy. Cobra Kai has lost and is sent home because of the loss. While Robbie and Tori have a conversation, Kwon walks in and calls Robbie a lucky bastard, saying that what happened in the match would never happen again. They both intensely look at each other, and Robbie replies, "It's a good thing I won't have to find out. Lucky me." He then wishes Cobra Kai to get another chance. This leaves them happy with the news, making Miyagi-Do frustrated. In the next scene, while in the training room, Kreese mentions to the Cobra Kai students that second chances don't come often, but he'll be damned if they don't make the best of the chance they've been given. Kim Dan then mentions they will return home with honor and calls for training to commence. Kwon then strikes the board, but Tori misses, leaving her to look upon him. Back at the Sekai Taikai, the students get ready for the competition and wait while their matchups are being announced. Fight. Diego struggles to land a point on Kwon and ultimately takes the loss in this fight, as Kwon is clearly superior. During Axel and Robbie's fightingly, he is knocked off his feet by the head of the Russian team, knocking him out instantly. Everyone sees this, and it causes an uproar. The whole room erupts into a brawl. Kwon then headbutts Robbie, and his peers hold him while he unleashes attacks on him. However, Robbie breaks free, and in a moment, he and Miguel are back to back, and they both drop their heads to signal, "Let's do this." Kwon continues to fight anyone who is in his way, but spots Robbie again and attacks him. Samantha then tries to defend Robbie, but Kwon kicks her, which Axel sees. This makes him furious, as he has feelings for Sam. He unleashes his and, most likely, the rest of the viewers, as Kwon's injuries and the brawl are now broadcast on television. Realizing he has been beaten, he looks to get his revenge on Axel. He sees the knife Kreese had dropped while following Terry Silver just marked the Sekai Taikai with another death after years of the competition, and also the first teenage death in Sekai Taikai history. Thank you for watching Cobra Kai World.